Hey, this is Kenneth, and today let's talk about how I organize my RF adapters. So if you're anything like me and you work on radios, you'll inevitably need some sort of adapter to go from one connector to another, or from one gender to a different gender, something or the other. And you kind of one by one eventually collect quite a collection of these RF adapters. It got to the point where I was filling 2-quart Ziploc bags with these RF adapters, and every time I needed one I had to dump it out on the ground, and it was kind of getting a little bit onerous. So I decided to really go to a good solution and buy this Plano 1258 tackle box. As I picked this up at the Bass Pro Shop, the paragon of American retail experience. And it's a double layer tackle box, and I sort out all of my RF adapters in it, which is really about the thesis of this video. Thanks for watching. No, I'm going to keep going. So, kind of the basic layout, the basic setup is I've got one row for each major connector. So I've got, all of my N connectors generally kind of go across there, all of my B and C's, all of my PL259s, etc. Right? And so that's kind of how I have it laid out basically. A couple other things to note about this. You'll notice that if you look at my adapters, they all have a kind of a light green dot on them somewhere. This is a trick that I learned from one of my Elmers, that you get a bottle of nail polish. I, for example, got apple and custard, and you mark all of your adapters with your color of nail polish, so that when you go to a site and you're screwing everything together, and at the end of the weekend you start unscrewing stuff and tossing stuff in people's toolboxes, you kind of have a pretty good guess of whose connectors are whose based on the color of the connectors. So hopefully you and your friends aren't all adamantly also fans of apple and custard, because then I could never work with you in real life. Unfortunately, this also means that you can pretty definitively sit here and go, hey, I've got someone else's N male to N male barrel, because that's not my color. I don't know whose this is. So if you're missing an N barrel and you like to paint all your connectors pink, let me know. But yeah, so I got this. This was about 30. I want to say its list price is $33. I want to say that I paid something more like 30 for it. And then I went and got the nail polish from one of my lady friends, painted all of my adapters, and they went in like that. Looking in, typically in this area, I put my crimping tool. I have the crimp tool, but it currently is in a different box because power poles in the lower compartment, I haven't quite grown into it yet, and so at this point all I've got is different crimp connectors. So I've got SMA connectors for RG174, and then N connectors, 259 connectors, B and C, and mini UHF for RG, the RG58 size, although I use 142 since it's not anywhere near as terrible. One kind of neat thing about the Plano boxes, and I'm kind of hesitant to mention this, it came with a little card. Fill out this card. Fill out this card and mail it in on that address that I just accidentally flipped over to, and they will custom engrave for you for the low price of $2.50 a name tag to go on your tackle box, which is a tactile experience I haven't had since like middle school, of filling out one of these little postcards and sending it in. And so I got this great placard that came back with K. Finnegan, WGKWF, which is not my call sign. But G is pretty close to 6. I understand how they made the mistake. I feel somewhat justified in being a bit annoyed that, I can see how they made it happens. So an X-Acto blade kind of corrected the G to make a 6. And you couldn't really read it that much, so I have sharpied it all in and then rubbed it off. But, for $2.50 and kind of the novelty of doing something that I haven't done in a decade, I'll be relatively forgiving. So, but yeah, so that's pretty much it. It's really nice being able to just open it up and index into whichever connector I want, or adapter. But if you have any other ideas for how you sort out your connectors and adapters, leave them in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Bye.